Welcome back to Just the Facts, y'all. My name is Jimmy. Today, I got a special guest, Jamree Kromah, defensive lineman from James Madison. Jamree, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hey, what's going on? Jamree Kromah here, defensive lineman at James Madison University, 2024 NFL Draft prospect.
Yes, sir, man. How you feeling, man?
I feel great, man. Despite me feeling great, I'm blessed. Being in this position, being in this situation, I'm blessed. But the time and the investment I put in myself was got me here.
Hey, man. Yes, it's just getting started, right? You say you're going to the NFL draft and whatnot. How's that training like been so far? Trying to prepare for the draft, such a big moment in your life, man.
Well, I mean, one thing about it is a lot of things you have to learn. There's a lot of learning curves. The things that you've been introduced to is new to you. So like they're not expecting you to know about it, but that's why they dare to teach you like things that you need to do to get prepared for like your combine, your pro day, but even also like the interview process because not just like the physical part, but also like the mental part of everything else, how to present yourself, how to say yourself the right way so that teams that are interested in you can be like, yeah, I could take this guy in consideration. So basically, it's like selling yourself well in that situation so that teams can highly consider you and take you as a draft pick.
How's that? How does the process look like for you specifically right now? What do you got going on a day to day basis as far as like training and diet preparation?
I mean, one thing about it is like, it's interviews. Like I talk about like the interview process,
Yeah.
going through the preparation for the interview process. But despite me training, I'm in the process of getting ready for my All-Star game for next month. I recently got invited to the East West Shrine game. So that's pretty big. And after getting that invite earlier recently, like I'm very excited and pumped for that. But for me to put on a good performance and showcase my talent real well, I have to prepare myself.
You better have gotten an invite with the 10 sacks you had this season. Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously playing for James Madison. Recap the whole season for me and what it meant for you and the program because this is probably the biggest season in James Madison history, and you were a part of it, right? And going
Yeah.
11-2, first ever bowl game. Just how was the vibe and the energy around like the campus and the program at being there around this type of time?
I mean, the energy and like the vibe, it was great. Like let's say going back to when we had college game day, nobody expected to have college game day come to James Madison University or Harrisonburg, Virginia, because like we were just big on like focusing on one game at a time, one play at a time, and trying to do what we got to do to win this game. But based on stuff that we was doing, that's what led to college game day coming to town. But like for me, my own personal self, a lot of things that I experienced at JMU, like my 2 years, but especially like my second year, I never really experienced that when I was at Rutgers. So like the things that guys who've been on the team for more than 2 years experience, what they're used to, I wasn't really used to that. I was kind of new to everything, but it was really worth everything that we've been through for those kind of experiences to happen. But it was just great, man. Like the ups and downs. No day was a perfect day, but at the end of the day, the good will always outweigh the bad, and it'll be sunny days for sure. But
Yeah.
definitely great experience.
How did that process work for y'all internally? Because from the outside looking in, we were like, okay, James Madison is not going to be able to go to a bowl game, even though they're one of the best group of five teams in college football. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all sending in an appeal, try to appeal that to get that bowl ban. I mean that bowl game, and after there wasn't enough teams that was eligible for bowls, they gave it to y'all, man. How was that process like fighting for that bowl, that right to go to a bowl?
I mean, obviously from the outside, um, a lot of fans and stuff like, hey, let James Madison football team go to a
Yeah,
bowl game. Let JMU bowl. Like everyone had their own opinions, had their own thoughts about those things, but the way that God's seen it on the inside, especially like our head coach at the time, who's now in Indiana, Coach Kirk Signetti, he just told us like, don't worry about the outside stuff, don't worry about the outside noise, don't let it come inside this program. Just control the things that you control and that's all you can do. You can't control what NCAA is going to do. with us going to the bowl game or not. You can't control what any other committee or organization would want to do. So it's like control the things that you control, which is like going out there, playing, giving it your all, and winning this game, and just keep the main thing. And by us controlling the things that we control, who knows what will happen in the future? But it's just like just staying focused, keeping the main thing. Don't feed into that.
Exactly. You touched on college game day coming to Harrisburg. Take me into that environment, man. Like, how surreal was that moment, and how was it that whole week in the city?
I mean, it was very surreal. I mean, like it was really great for the university, like the campus, and especially for the football program. But like you can't feed into that because it's like
Yeah,
outside stuff is going to be a distraction. So it's like, the message that we got from Coach Signetti, it was like, yeah, we know about college game day, but that doesn't change anything that we're doing. That doesn't change anything about who we are. We have to stay focused and keep the main thing the main thing. Because like it's really like for the fans because we don't even have the chance to go out there to college game day or do interviews because we have to like focus on preparing for the opponent, which was App State at the time. So like for the experience, like definitely great for the university, great for the fans, and not everybody could say that they've been to a college game day experience, but for us to have that here, for especially for my last year, hey, you couldn't even have it any other way.
hey, by the way, the Sun Belt, one of the most underrated conferences in college football. I will say that they all got some good teams in that conference.
Yeah,
Good
it's
teams.
definitely competition in the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Before you were at James Madison, obviously you were at Rutgers for 4 years, I believe.
Yeah, 4 years, four
Okay,
years.
yeah, you are graduated from there. Take us back to how Rutgers came about. What was the recruiting process like with them? What other schools were a part of it, and how did you end up choosing Rutgers?
So I mean, Rutgers they offered me like going to my senior year, and then after my senior season, that's when they really considered me for me to come to the school, showing a lot of interest. But before I committed and signed for Rutgers, I was committed to Old Dominion University. I
Mm.
don't think a lot of people know about that, but I was committed to Old Dominion University going to my senior year. And then like I had a great senior year in high school, and then that's when Rutgers came in the picture and showed high interest. Like, hey, we want you to come here. You should come take a visit. So my family and I decided to jump on the opportunity to take the visit and went on to commit and sign to Rutgers. But
Nice.
like I was a late bloomer come out of high school because like my senior year was like the best year where I just put great film. The years before in the previous time was like, I showed some flashes, raw ability, but to put everything together that year, it really like stood out and it got a lot of coaches' eyes, a lot of schools' eyes.
Being at Rutgers, obviously y'all didn't have much success when you were there. A
Right.
lot of tough seasons. I see like 1-11, 2-10, 3-6. Like it was tough out there. Um,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, yeah. How tough was it that you're in that type of situation, and then I think your last year y'all actually started to gain a little bit of traction with
Yeah, my
Shiano
last
there.
year.
But how tough
Yeah.
was that overall? You know what I mean? As a competitor, we obviously all love to win, but just being somewhere where you weren't winning, how did that feel?
I mean, it has its challenges, man. It challenges like with everything that you're going through, like your love for the game, your love for the guys, and like how you want to go about things. It was definitely tough, but like one thing about it is like tough times don't last forever, but tough people do. But just keeping your head in the things and like just like staying focused and just control the things that you control. At the end of the day, it's like you can't go out there and play all the positions. You just have to like do your part, and as long as you do your part, at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's like this is a team game, but it was definitely tough. But you just had to keep your head up above the water so you won't drown.
So you brought up a great point. Like you can only play the position you play, right? You can only do the things that you know how to do. Does it get
Hmm.
hard when you're in that situation trying to overcompensate for deficiencies elsewhere, or like maybe trying too hard in a way to where it can
I
actually
mean, yeah,
affect your team?
I mean, yeah, it's when you do everything the best you can, and sometimes the guy next to you doesn't like do everything the best he can, give his all, could definitely be frustrating. But at the same time, it's just like some people don't have the same passion as you, and you may not have the same passion as them because everybody is different. But like at the end of the day, it's like what's bound to happen later on is bound to happen later on. Like the great things, the greater things, in college football. But like I said before, it was like a lot of different characters over there at the time, being when we were struggling and everything else. But you just had to know and who really care about football, who's really passionate about football, and just stay around those guys. But also like be around the right guys that will benefit you, and not be around the wrong guys that won't benefit you along the way.
Exactly. And I have to ask every athlete I get on, I have to ask this question. What was
hmm
your welcome to college moment? It can be a funny story or something that opened your eyes or
Gosh, I'll say if I had to pick, I'll probably say like my first college game.
okay.
My first college game because it was just like a lot of things was happening fast. A
Yeah.
lot of things was happening fast, and I felt like you know before the season started, going through training camp, I'm just like, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Things are slowing down the way. But when I got to that first game, I'm like, whoa,
It's just different.
yeah. I started getting tired quick. You know, offensive linemen attacking me faster. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, I got some catching up I need to do. But also like along the way, like I'm just like, yeah, I definitely got some work I need to do, but it's definitely like the speed of the game and not really specifically like any like player that I play against, but or even the team, but it was just like definitely the speed of the game and the way things go. It was just like, yeah, I got some work I need to do.
Yeah. That can open your eyes, huh? You thought it was like sweet. You training camp, you feel good, and then first game
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I ain't think it was sweet, but I felt pretty good with myself, and I feel like one thing about it, despite of things not going my way, I always kept my confidence no matter what. Because once
yeah.
you lose your confidence, it's very hard to shake back and get that confidence again. But no matter what, if things go your way or things don't go your way, always keep that confidence.
While at your time at Rutgers, what was the toughest team you played in the Big Ten? What was the toughest team and what was that like playing them?
Uh, toughest team. I'd definitely say like Ohio State.
Yeah.
It was a tough team. Because it's like you already have them being the favorite for the win, but it was just like, don't, you know, fear anything, don't have that losing mindset thing like you're going to get blown out. And that was kind of tough because like it's tough for people mentally. And I feel like the toughest game that I played against was a game where I stepped up where Um, I played nose guard my very last year, most of the time at Rutgers, and I wasn't starting at the time. I wasn't starting, but the starting nose guard in front of me, he was playing well, had a hell of a game, but he got ejected for targeting at a quarterback unintentionally. But since he hit the crown of the helmet, he got ejected, and I had to be the guy that stepped up. So during that first half when we played Michigan 2021 season, they was winning 20-0. They was beating us by 20 points. And they scored 20 in the first half. So like when later in the first half, when the first half was about to end, when my teammate gets ejected, I I had to be the guy to step up. And then when I stepped up, some guys believed in me. Other guys had like some type of uncertainty, had some type of doubt, which is totally understandable because maybe they didn't see me be in that kind of situation before. But like when I stepped up, they didn't score a touchdown ever again. And playing nose guard, that's when like guys were running up the middle. That never
Yeah.
happened, and kept on having three and outs. We kept on like giving them a hard time. had the Soul Stadium quiet because he's playing at Michigan. And unfortunately, we lost that game, but that just showed a lot about me. And plus, like I was dealing with like a bad shoulder. I was really like my body was pretty sore after the game, but that's like a tough game right there for me. But it just showed a lot about me and what I showed a lot about myself. And the other players seeing it, I really got their respects and props for it.
And you know, since we're on that topic, yeah, and that was a Michigan team that made the playoffs that year, and you was
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
do
they
that.
did. They made a playoff that year.
Yeah, so obviously in the championship game now, how is it playing against such a physical team? Both lines of scrimmage are just so physical. Blake Corum running up the middle. Their offensive linemen are huge. They're really good. Like how is it playing against them? Just how physical are they?
I mean, nah, Michigan, they're a great O line. They send O linemen to the NFL every time. But like, when you know that they're gonna bring it, you also have to bring it too. And it's like if you're a kid, from like when you look back when you was a kid watching college football and then you're a man but still have that passion of a kid, it's like you live for moments like those right there. You want to play against the best. So it was just like just play football and have fun.
Did you get a chance to play against Michael Penix when he was at Indiana?
Um, yes, I did. I'll say like 2019 because
Oh,
2018 I redshirted. 2019 is when I played, but then that 2020 I did it because um I was dealing with an injury. Well, that 2019 we lost obviously, and then like that 2019 I mean that 2020 season it was one of those games where we could have won, but like I don't know if you've seen this one play that went viral when they kept on going like lateral. Like kept on pitching the ball, and eventually, like we got success out of that
oh
play,
yeah,
and they
y'all almost
penalized
had
it.
scored on that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
we scored, but like there was like a penalty somewhere saying that the one of our receivers threw the ball forward instead of like
I remember
backwards.
that play. Yeah,
Like yeah, like that was like a game right there for sure that we could have won, but unfortunately, it didn't go our way.
yeah, I remember that game at Rutgers. You played. You were on the same team with Isiah Pacheco, who's obviously
Oh
now
yeah, 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 yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, he's a character. Tell me a little bit about him, and what do you think went into the process for him into having success at the NFL right now?
Well, the one thing about it, like once you give Isaiah Pacheco the opportunity, he's going to take full advantage of it. I mean, he loves the game with passionate, very passionate about the game. A lot of emotion, and you know, he works hard. He works hard every time. Like a lot of guys, like believe in him, and it's like he has high energy, very high energy, and like he's very positive about it. Like positivity affect people, and sometimes like that energy is contagious, but he's very energetic for sure. His personality, like the dancing, everything else, like joking around, he just be himself though. But like, that being around him, it just showed me a lot like, hey, and they just be yourself. Like be different, separate yourself.
Yeah, yeah. You said that energy was contagious. You can tell by the way he runs now, like with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He's like, ah.
Oh yeah. Most definitely though. But like that was like one of my I'll say like one of my favorite, like one of my best teammates I had like at Rutgers.
Yeah. What what's the story you have on him? Like a funny story or like something crazy that he did on the field?
Uh, uh, okay. All right. So yeah, I actually do got a story, right? So we was doing summer workouts, right? So I did my workout already because my group was before his group. So like, when I completed my workout, I think the defense had, I think either like the position group or the defensive group had to go outside, do some kind of walkthrough, like go over plays. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy moving around, but just going over like certain things that we'll probably see when we play in the season. But like we was going over that like in the summer. So the offensive group, like the skilled guys, they doing their workout on the field. They like running around, like running 300. So when you're running 300, it's like
Whew.
literally like almost like the whole field, but it's not the whole field all the way all around. But it's like really close to like you running the whole field. So Isaiah, but everybody call him Pop. But like Pop, he did he finished his rep, and as he was running, he ended up being first. So uh, like he's tired, he's struggling because like you just ran the long distance and you end up finishing first. You pushing yourself. He just tired. He needs some water, right? So he's leaning on other people. I think he was leaning on me. So I'm like, yo, somebody give us the water. Somebody give us the water. Give me the water. So I had a water in my hand, right? But I know for a fact this water is like almost done and it's not cold. So when you tired and stuff and you try to catch your breath, you can't think straight. You try so hard to think. You try to challenge yourself to think, but you're
Yeah.
just not thinking the moment. And you just do anything. So Pop, he grabs the bottle of water from my hand, you know, he curses me out and like, take the water because like he was just bad at the moment. And I'm like, there's no water. If water cold, so I give him some water. So I played it off. I ain't take it personal or anything because like it was nothing to be taken personal about. Like I'm not sensitive like that in a way, and I see things, situations, and it's like I know when to react, not know when to react when it's time for me to react. And I'm like, I was saying a funny one. I'm trying to get water. So when everybody heard me, they was like, yo, this man's jam crazy. And then he's like, man, you standing around and stuff. Like, also you need some water. I'm like, I'm trying to get you water. So then later on, it's lunchtime. We all back to ourselves. The workout is done. And I'm like, dang, Pop, like, you gotta grab the water bottle for me, man. I'm trying to get you water, man. He's like, man, look, he said, my fault, man. I know, honestly, he's trying to get me water. I'm just tired of the moment. I'm like, I understand. That's why I wasn't even mad at you. But that was like one of the funny stories right there between me and him.
That's funny. He was like, "Give me that
Yeah.
water, man. What you doing?"
Yeah. It's like he
uh,
curses me out, but I'm like, dang, I'm trying to help you out.
oh man, he's a character for sure. Uh, but
Yeah.
but the background I know about him is like why he plays the way he plays. It's like he plays with a purpose, with everything that's happened in his life or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like that's why he plays the way he plays. What do you think
Yeah.
like your purpose is as to like why do you play the way that you play?
I mean, one thing for sure is like I love the game. Like, if I didn't love the game, I wouldn't be in this position that I'm in today. Like, I love the game with everything, passion, emotion, everything that comes with it. And with football, I've been playing football since I was 8. And me playing football has took me to cities I've never been before. It's gave me opportunity, but when I go out there, man, it's like I have that passion of a kid, like that 8-year-old kid, that 8-year-old Jam that was a kid. I still have that passion in me, even though I'm 23 years old, come be 24 this year. I'm a grown man and everything else, but I still have that 8-year-old, passion with Jam when he was a kid. So it's like you just playing a kid's game for a king's ransom, and it's like, I love the game so much. It's like I'll not cheat the game. The game is so good to me, but also, it's like, when you talk about like purpose and my why, it's definitely my family for sure. My family is what like gets me going, and more in particular, like my mother. My mother what gets me going, and that's the strongest woman I know, and that's the biggest inspiration you know that I know.
Mm. Do they still live out here, or are they still in Africa?
Oh, everybody is here.
Oh,
My
okay.
mother's here, my brother's here, everybody's here. The only people that's like back home in Africa is like my aunts, uncles, but that's it really. But like when you talk about like my mother and my siblings, my immediate family, they all in America.
Go out here. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Leaving Rutgers after the 2021 season. What was the deciding factor for you going to James Madison?
I mean, so with me leaving Rutgers, Was it a tough decision? Absolutely, because when you've been somewhere for so long and you think about going somewhere else, but you know it's for your own good, it could be tough because a lot of changes are going to happen. Some people are not willing to, let change happen. They sometimes have a hard time, like, dealing with change and adapting to change and being adjusted to change because they're so used to the same thing every day. Now it's like when you have to do something different, that could really be weird and very odd. But like with me being at Rutgers, it was like, you know, uh, it was like my own personal style. I knew I had more to give to the game.
Hmm.
And I just felt like my situation at Rutgers, I knew I could go somewhere, but it just wasn't here anymore. It's like I did everything the best I can, but if I stay here longer, I don't think I will reach to where I want to go to in my career and in life. And it's just like I just wasn't growing as a player. Yeah, I got better on some things in a way, like the knowledge of the game and playing in the way that I needed to play. But I just wanted to. I knew I had since I said I had more to get to the game. I wanted to grow on another level that I haven't reached to, and I just felt like I just couldn't reach to it being at Rutgers. So it wasn't like I had anything against the coaches or anything with the program. It was like my own personal self. I knew I had more to get to the game.
Yeah.
So when I entered the portal, before I entered the portal, I had to make sure like everything was good, that my film was good, my academics was good. My academics was good in a way where it's like I'm able to get my degree from here. And I ended up taking 18 and a half credits. I took a lot of classes to get that
Shit.
degree because like I didn't want to transfer to a school that would like not accept all my credits and push my graduation date back. And a possibility that I may not play that year due to me coming from a different school. But I knew that with me transferring as a grad transfer, I was going to immediately play, but also like I was going to have my degree and none of my graduation dates will be pushed back and I could go into the next thing with my academics. So like when I entered the portal, knowing that all those things are taken care of, I was open at any school. But with James Madison, I saw James Madison play when they was in the I think maybe semifinals against North Dakota State. I saw them when they played North Dakota State. And then the things I seen on the TV when I was watching them, I was like, okay, I kind of like what they're doing on defense. It's like I feel like I could fit there. And then when I entered, there was one of the schools that reached out to me. There was one of the first ones that reached out to me, and talking to the head coach. But at the time, the D line coach, who was also the defensive coordinator over at James Madison, left JMU to come to Rutgers. So it was like, okay, it's a Wayne game. Coach Signetti told me like, hey, we gotta see who's the DC going to be, the defensive coordinator and the defensive line coach, and then we go on to the next thing to evaluate what we want to do. So once the defensive coordinator came in and the defensive line coach came in, that's when they extended me a scholarship. I had other scholarship offers, but with James Madison being the school when I took the visit, it was a no brainer. It was a no brainer for me to come here, and the other schools, it was just like they wasn't matching with JMU, and I knew what JMU could do. I just like seen a vision, the long term. But it was like everything that I wanted for my last 2 years was there at JMU, and I just took it and went along with it.
Yeah. And obviously, you had that breakout season this year, 10 sacks. I think third on
Yeah,
the team in tackles and whatnot, making a name for you.
yeah.
Now you're heading off to the NFL. Did you always believe you'd make it, or obviously not here yet, but did you always think that was a possibility?
I mean, I say come out of high school, I say yeah, I want to go to the NFL. But at one point in my life, when I was in college, in my early years of college, when I was struggling, I really struggled a lot, like mentally. Like it was real bad where I kind of questioned myself, like, do I really want to play this game of football or not? Because I just felt like, okay, maybe NFL is not it for me. But maybe football is not it for me at all. But like my family kept me encouraged, and then kept me encouraged, and it's just like later on, like when I was trying to in that thought process of leaving Rutgers, I'm like, I know my worth and value,
Hmm.
and I had to better myself. But at one point, I did struggle where I was like, is this for me or is this not? Nothing with like what's going on like for me while I do in the field or anything with the coaches, anybody in that program. It was just like my own self. Like I was down in a good place. I was down in a good place mentally. But once I got out of that and I saw things like flourishing for me, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, just had that confidence in myself and just took off. Especially like after my first year at JMU, when a lot of people said like, yeah, you definitely have a shot for sure. And if you have a breakout year for your last year, there's no doubt that you'd be put in great position. And when I heard that and I kind of see it for myself, I'm like, we're heading towards the right direction within this process.
And you feel good now, huh?
I feel great. I feel like I feel marvelous. I feel blessed. Everything, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to see that, man. If it wasn't football, then what?
Then I was in a cyber intelligence program,
Okay.
but who knows what God would have planned for me, though. I feel like this is God's plan, and who knows what He had planned for me. But if it was my choice, some people have their backup plan, some people don't have their backup plan, but for a guy like myself, me having the knowledge and awareness of all the things that could possibly happen, like my backup plan is to like be in the cybersecurity world. I was in a cyber intelligence program for some time. Um, didn't get a chance to finish it, but definitely be in the cybersecurity world, IT.
Hell yeah. What's up, man? That was always like something that you liked naturally too, huh?
I just really kind of figured that out like in my later years of college, like at the end of the years, like
Mm.
because I got my degree in labor studies and employment relations and my minor in digital communications, information media out of Rutgers. But I just felt more comfortable in the cyber intel world, cyber security world, cyber intelligence world where it was just like more beneficial and I kind of had to develop the love of like learning things.
Yeah. And ever since then you've been on that, huh?
Yeah, I think because in my early years, like I'll say before JMU, I was trying to figure out like what I would do outside of football. Each guy had a thought of like what to do so that when it's time for you to, make something happen, you already know what to do and how to go about it. But like I'll say in my later years, so that's why I figure out like, yeah, this is gonna be like my backup plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to have that because I don't know. I guess from the outside looking in, I guess a lot of players are just so hell bent on, okay, we're going to the league, we're going to the league, we're going to the league, that they don't really have that backup plan. Because yeah, they might be a lock to make it to the NFL, but obviously in football, you're one hit away from like your career being done. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of the situation. But for you to have a backup plan and something that you might even do while you're playing football. Who knows? That's great. But
Yeah.
Jeremy, man, I appreciate you. Hopping on the podcast with me, doing this episode. It was a lot of fun, man.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this interview.
Oh yeah, for
Really
sure, man.
had fun with it.
Hell yeah, yeah. It was a lot of fun, man. Just getting other players' perspectives on a lot of different things to get an inside look into a day in the life of a college student. College football player, about to go pro. So, it's always cool to get, different perspectives on that type of stuff. But good luck on all your, endeavors, man. I will be watching, became a big fan of you over the past couple of weeks or so. So, you got a big supporter in me, man. Sure.
Hey, appreciate the support, man. Hey, support anything else, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, this is Jimmy from Just the Facts. I'm out. Peace.